Very good morning, dear students. In the chapter Towns, Traders, and Craftsmen. So far, what we learned was how the urban centers has been grown up during the medieval period and why it is famous certain regions and types of urban centers, that is administrative centers, temples, towns and pilgrimage centers, commercial towns, port towns, craft towns and fountain towns. And we also discussed about the inland and foreign trade. In today's class, we will be discussing about inland and foreign trade. Through this trade, how the association took place and how the crafts and technology have been developed and how the cities, that is especially the Masulipatanam or the Machilipatanam and the Surat was famous for their business activities or the trade activities. Today, let us see. So, dear students, as I said, due to the existence of these different towns and the development of these towns leads to not only the inland, even the foreign trade. So there exist several categories of group of traders, including nomadic traders. Nomadic traders are those traders who is going to travel from one place to another place for the purpose of businesses. They are not going to be settled at one place. Today if they are in Bangalore, they tomorrow after 1 week they are going to be settled at the in the northern part of Karnataka in order to discuss about, to have the agreement between the different traders about their trade activities in order to sell the goods and services. So, in order to have their traders at large number, more than lakhs together or crores together, these traders, group of business persons, what they have, they organized, they formed themselves a different groups and association and they built a trade guilds. Trade guilds is nothing but is a group of people with a similar intention. They will have an association or group and an office in order to discuss all the matters related to their business. So once they have formed a association, that association will consist of more than 20 to 25, maximum for 50 or 80 people. They are going to become the member of that association. So there will be an head man who will take care of all the decisions related to these trade activities on behalf of others. So this guild sets up rules and regulations. So as I said, this guild or the association head will is going to form the rules and regulations for the trade, like what are the rules and regulation, how many members has to be there in the association, and their names, their addresses, and what will be the prices fixed for certain items which they are going to sell, and and how much loan will be provided to that group of people, and what will be the interest, what is will be the time duration given to these people. All those things will be discussed in this association for the welfare of these people. Similar type of goods will be sold by this association. So each group will have different groups, different goods will be sold by the different people. So each group will have their own association. So in that association all will discuss their problems, their business matters, everything, and they form their own rules and regulation. According to that they carry out their business activities, and they give the training to the new traders and protect the interest of the all the traders. So in some of the famous trading associations or the guilds, what happens, that is that were Mani Gramam and Nana Deshi. So these were the two associations which were famous during the medieval period, that is Mani Gramam and Nana Deshi. And these guilds traded extensively both within and outside India. These two trading guilds, that is the association which were involved in carrying out the trades activities or the business activities within the India and even with the out of country, that is out of India, with the other foreign countries also, they have their trade activities. They are telling. Next, the Chettirais, Hindu Baniyas, the Muslim Boharas, and the Marwari Oswal communities emerged as the principal main trading groups of the country. So, different goods were carried out, were manufactured and sold. Some of the goods were carried on by their forefathers, ancestors. The same goods will be manufactured by the their sons and grandsons. So these kind of people will have their own community on the caste basis even. So some such like communities will be carrying out their own goods which were carried out by their ancestors. So these kind of communities will also were the main trade groups which we can see in the medieval period. So basically what they will be involving, these communities will be involved mainly in the textile activities. They sell textiles and indigo color and spices to which countries? To China and Persia and the Arab countries. These were sold. Which are those? Textile, indigo, spices were sold to the China, Persia and Arab countries. In exchange, in from India, when the textile, indigo or spices to China and Persia and Arab countries were sold, in exchange, in return of this, they brought, that is India got gold and ivory from the which country? Africa and Chinese blue pottery designs and even silver from Southeast Asia and China. So as there were high demand for the Indian textiles, they lead to the expansion or the growth of associated occupation. That is, not only the selling of textile or the cloth materials, it also leads to other activities which were connected with this textile. Not only the selling the raw cottons or the raw textiles or the cloth materials, they started to have weaving, spinning, that is preparation of thread, weaving, stitching and dyeing, preparation of color for the clothes. So by the 18th century, as the British entered to rule the Indian textile companies and the crafts were completely ruined, completely stopped, and that it was replaced. Before they used to make all these activities, that is weaving, spinning and dyeing the color to the clothes were made by the hands, with the help of the hands. But once the British rule came up, it started, it replaced with the machine made goods. That is, instead of handmade craft and the handmade weaving, spinning, machines replaced the work of the human. So new commercial towns emerged under the British, and it included the Bombay, the present day Mumbai and the Madras. Next, coming to the crafts and technology, through the different sources of the medieval period, through the establishment of various towns, we came to know the how the towns have been established, what were their importance, how they're been famous for. So by having different types of crafts and industries that existed in here, the upper classes like to have the lavish or the enormous wealth. So through this, they began their living lifestyle was changed. There was demand for the luxury item. As the lifestyle changed, the luxury items will be like having large jewelries, sparse fancy items. Then because of this sparse lifestyle, it leads to new occupation. Which are those? Mason is a person who will be skilled in using the building bricks, stones, bricks in construction of a building. So a person is skilled in cutting, designing and laying the stone in construction of a building. That is called masons. Carpenters who will do the woodwork. Next, tailors, stitching, weaving, all those things. Then painters, then weavers came up as a result of what? Because of the luxury lifestyle of the upper class people, all these occupation came into existence. Next, Bengal was the prominent or the main